As a child, when she was a baby, she was really clingy to me. In fact, we gave her a nickname of Limpet. I remember the GP telling me, she's a slow healer, this one. And we thought nothing of it, you know. But as she goes through life, she was quirky. For her, she needed to know where we were going, what time we were going to get there, who was going to be there, what it looked like, and what time we'd be getting home and leaving. Yeah. She needed all that kind of detail. And I just used to call it groundwork that I had to do before we went anywhere.
Whereas Lucy, our elder daughter, would just go.
Yeah, she was
just happy. So there was always that comparison really between the two.
So we knew she was quirky, but we just didn't see it as a problem. We just accommodated it, basically. When she went to school, at primary school, she seemed okay to start off with. There's only 25 months between her and Lucy, but 3 school years, because Lucy's August and Clare's September. But what I didn't realise was how much Lucy was protecting Clare at school. And then when Lucy moved on, Clare started getting really bullied at school, and it was hard. The other children recognised her as being different, and that's why she got bullied. And plus, we now, with hindsight, wonderful thing, understand like the environment and the sensory overload that she got at school was too much.
I guess, do you want to just tell us a little bit about like how you got into ice skating, like when you started ice skating?
Okay, so I started skating when I was about 15 or 16 after I'd had a birthday party at an ice rink, even though I'd never been to one before. Just fell in love with it while I was there. Now that I know I'm autistic, if I look back, I just love the feeling of gliding, like the sensory feeling of gliding. I think that's what I fell in love with, and I was at a stage where I was looking for a new hobby anyway, because I was quitting ballet, which I'd done since I was 8, because I had awful stage fright, and if you weren't going to be in any shows at the level that I'd got up to, then you just couldn't take part in the classes, really. It doesn't make any sense. I did ballet and football, so I couldn't decide if I was a girly girl or a tomboy, but I was both, so. I started to realise just before the pandemic hit that I had been skating for a lot longer than a lot of these people that were on the ice with me, and I hadn't progressed at anything like the rate that they had. And I thought, why is that? Am I not trying hard enough? Have I not practiced enough? Why is that? Am I just rubbish at skating? Do I not have the natural talent or that they have or something? They've got to where I am in 2 years. It's taken me 9. And why has it happened like that? And then the pandemic hit, and I had my mental breakdown during that in 2020, and was put on medication that made me gain 8 stone. And then when ice rinks opened back up, I went back in a completely different physical state. I'd gained so much weight, but also my physical health had deteriorated a lot as well as my mental health. I was having to relearn everything anyway, but I was having to relearn it almost with a new body as well. Then we started talking to this autism-specific counsellor, and I was saying I've got pain here and here, and I'm being tested for this, that and the other. And I mean, I was having brain scans and everything. They just did not have a clue what was wrong with me. And it wasn't until she suggested it and we looked it up. There's 13 types of EDS. I have hypermobile type Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and POTS is a really common comorbidity of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, as is autism and MCAS, which I also have. MCAS is mast cell activation syndrome. So mainly a lot of joint pain and weakness, a really high injury rate, so much higher than normal, being double jointed, but like in multiple places and to the point where it's at your detriment, so it has a negative effect. A lot of people with HEDS or hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome are in wheelchairs. I'm a part-time stick user myself because they're what they call dynamic disabilities. So you have good days and bad days, and obviously on a good day I can come and skate. On a bad day I can't stand up and I can't get out of bed, so it really varies.
I still cringe when she does one or two of the things.
Mum can't watch me do spirals still, and I've been doing them for how many years now? Over a decade.
Because I mean, it is part and parcel of ice skating. You will fall over, and whenever anybody falls over, you'll see a lot of the mums and dads just go, "We'll get up then," you know, because that's it, isn't it? You just do it.
A physio once said to me, "Why have you picked the worst possible sport for your condition?" And I was like, I don't know, but we're too far down the line now to go back.
And to undo it.
Yeah. So if there's something that I can't do, I will try and figure out a way of solving it so that I can do it. Or my coach will, or we'll come up with this plan together.
Clare coach is very good.
Yeah, we'll find a way. Like, for example, when we were trying to teach me to do a catch foot spiral, so that's grabbing the blade behind my back and then pulling it up. Part of Ehlers-Danlos is having proprioception issues, so not knowing where your limbs are in space if you can't see them, which is also why I skate looking at the floor a lot of the time, because I'm looking at my feet because I don't know where the ground is otherwise. But Claire came up with just repeating and repeating and repeating it. So at first guiding my hand to my foot until I started to find it, and then it just became muscle memory. So we used muscle memory instead for me to learn that.
The things that we take into consideration for Claire's lessons are things like the pace, so we take a much slower pace for Claire's lessons, and we take things into consideration like ice time, so we choose time when the ice is quieter, so there's less obstacles and there's less noise, and we try and make the environment as comfortable as possible as we can for her.
It's been quite nice in that we've been on a learning curve together, because I didn't come to her with the knowledge of my conditions. We found out about them while she's been coaching me, and then we've both had to learn about them and then learn ways to work around them to teach me, and she's been brilliant. She's taken everything I've thrown at her in her stride, and she's great at coming up with ideas of how we might be able to do certain things.
I'm actually really grateful to Claire because she's opened up a whole new world to me in the world of inclusive skating, and that's really helped me grow as a coach and learn from that.
So my first competition, which was another reason why I decided to try inclusive skating, was a virtual competition, which they do every year. They have an in-person world and a virtual world, and it's basically for people who can't travel due to medical reasons. So I competed virtually with them for that, and I had incredibly low expectations for myself, because it was my first ever competition. Taking part is a huge step for me, and then I came away with 2 golds and a silver, and I couldn't believe it. Because I'd won one of the events and medalled in another, it generated an automatic invitation for me to come to the in-person Worlds the following year. I'd never done an in-person competition before, so I thought if I actually step onto the ice when they call my name out and don't just run straight back off, then I've achieved what I've set out to achieve. So I was really proud when I did compete there and again medalled. I think what I would say, especially for people with autism and who have special interests, which is quite common as part of our condition, I would say my advice would be to delve into them and, you know, explore them as much as possible. And I think through doing that, you will find like-minded people with the same interests as you, and you will find your people, as it were, and make friends that way. So I would say, if you're thinking about trying something, just try it if you can. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. But if it does, and you really enjoy it, then it could really change your life like it has for me. So I'd say just go for it if you can and persevere.